Hello everyone, and this is my review for Monday Night Raw on April 7th, 2014, and this is the fallout show from Wrestlemania. And you typically know how this Raw usually goes, at least over the last 3 or 4 years. A lot of the WrestleMania crowd is still there, and they pretty much are in the attendance for So you kind of get a little bit of a wonky, weird type of Raw. You don't necessarily get full-on continuations from storylines, with the exception today with Daniel Bryan and Triple H and everything with the Authority. You figured they would continue on with that because him winning the title last night, the Authority wasn't going to be storyline-wise. Authority won't be too happy with everything and want to try to get some revenge on that. I'll talk about that in another aspect, but for the most part, you got a lot of new beginnings with Monday Night Raw, and if this Raw does get remembered for anything, especially if a bunch of these people end up panning out really well, in the end, it will probably be remembered as a night of the new generation or the new era truly beginning, because you had the debuts with Paige and winning the Divas title against AJ, which is honestly probably the most shocking thing they did of the night. They didn't really do anything shocking tonight, which is one thing they've usually been doing over the past few years, is something really big or really shocking to either end Raw or somewhere on Raw. And that was probably honestly the most shocking thing they did all night, which isn't a bad thing in that sense either. But continuing on with the debuts, you saw the debut of Alexander Rusev finally, and you also got 2 debuting vignettes, one for Bo Dallas and one for Adam Rose. At this point, I was kind of shocked with that they were going with the whole Bo leaving deal to start off Bo Dallas to begin with. So we'll see how we'll see if that catches on at all when he comes up, or will he be playing that heel type character that he plays in NXT that believes he's a face and everything, or is he going to just be like this baby face when he's up here? It all really depends on how the crowd treats him. When he comes up. And Adam Rose itself, I'm not too sure if I really like his gimmick at all. I mean, you will have to see where it goes. Going with the whole exotic type tour bus deal, it's a little bit interesting, but kind of out there, so hopefully it will work out. Obviously, these all are really good talents. If you've seen them in NXT, you know what to expect, and it should be, and this will definitely be one of the reasons this Raw could be remembered, of any of these 4 kind of, come to a head here, because it's kind of the beginning of their new era. They're bringing the NXT people up, and let's see if they can get themselves over. A few of, obviously, Paige was a little bit over tonight, and Alexander Rusev was over. We'll see what happens when Adam Rose and Bo Dallas come in as well. Obviously, they did have some returns, and one real. And really, it was just one real return throughout the night, which was the return of RVD. Always good to see RVD in there. Always been good in the ring. Always been fun to watch. So we'll see what he's actually going to be doing here in the near future. He just had a match, pretty much a squash match with Damian Sandow. Really wish they would use Sandow more in some way, instead of just having him go out there and be squashed by people. I think he's a great talent. I've always liked the gimmick that he had, but they're kind of just doing nothing with him. Outside of that, they didn't really do anything that shocking. You had the match with. You had the 6-man tag match with the Wyatt family and Sheamus, Big E, and John Cena. That was a great match. Good to see the Wyatts going over in this one at the end of the match, and obviously they're gonna obviously they had to do something to give them a little bit more heat after Bray Wyatt losing to John Cena the night before, this kind of puts the heat back on them. And, they've been doing a really good job with the Wyatt family. Obviously, they're not going to push them over Mega yet at this point in time, but, that should come down the road here in the near future. They've only been around, they haven't even been around for a year yet, so, expect them to start pushing them even harder than they were before. Here in the near future, you kind of saw the beginnings of the reformation of Evolution with Triple H, Randy Orton, and Batista. Putting them in the tag title in a tag title match, while Triple H has the World Heavyweight title match. The tag title match was pretty much just there to show that Batista and Orton are together. Even if it's reluctantly together, just to be there, just to show them that they're together and they're going to be working with Triple H at this point to try to get rid of Daniel Bryan. Which, actually, it won't lead me to the main event area, because obviously they wanted to talk about one other thing that this night could potentially be remembered for. Maybe the reformation or the bringing back of the manager as being a key component to put people over. And the reason why I say that, obviously you had Paul Heyman with Brock Lesnar, but you also got to see with the debut of Alexander Rusev, you saw the debut of Lana, which is basically his handler for the Bulgarian Brute type gimmick that he's going with. So you have a new manager in there, a new mouthpiece to go along with that. Obviously you have Zeb Coulter with Jack Swagger, and now again you have Paul Heyman. Now that Brock Lesnar is going to be gone, he's going to be managing Cesaro now, which was honestly a really good segment. I liked how Cesaro came out to accept the trophy, and he came out with Zeb, and obviously you saw the tension between Zeb Coulter and Cesaro there. And then he announces that he's not a Zeb Coulter guy; he's a Paul Heyman guy. Place went nuts. It was really good. It'll be interesting to see if they are gonna be playing either Jack Swagger or Cesaro as the face here, especially with managers that have been particularly heel for the most part throughout their career. I don't know how they're going to be going about this, or if it's a heel versus heel program. Obviously, in the terms of being over the crowd, Cesaro would be the face in this case, but he kind of has a heel manager, so it's a little weird there. But But Paul Heyman usually can work around anything at that point. I like the new tagline he put for Cesaro, the King of Swing. It's a nice new tagline considering the fact that he can't use the We the People anymore, and we'll see where they continue on with that. And this does lead into what would be the main event of the night, which was supposed to be having Daniel Bryan versus Triple H for the WWE World Heavyweight title. And obviously they have been teasing it throughout the night that is Daniel Bryan's title reign only going to last for 24 hours? I'm kind of glad they did. Not kind of glad. I'm really glad that they decided not to go that route. Obviously, they could have gone that route and taken the belt off of him, because they had already given the moment to the fans and everything. But they're gonna really continue on and see where this goes. So that will be it should be nice to see. I liked the full face turn for the Shield, and like I said, when they didn't really do anything shocking throughout the night. You just kind of had little snippets here and there that were came off really good on TV, and then of course at the end where you have Randy Orton, Kane, and Batista come out and beat down Daniel Bryan before Triple H comes out to try to win, and then the Shield comes in, and you have this big standoff between Kane, Orton, and Batista in the Shield, with Triple H sitting there in the middle trying to work everything out, and then the Shield makes the turn, spearing Triple H, taking care of the rest of the Authority, and honestly, it came off really well, at least to me. And of course, Daniel Bryan going over in the end with the knee to Triple H to just finish everything off. I felt it just came off really good, and it seems as if they're not going to go with a Shield split at this point. So it does, or at least it doesn't seem like they're going to do it, now or in the next couple months. So it'll be interesting to see how they work them as faces. Hopefully, it doesn't become like they are, the typical babyface weakling type faces for a tag team. Hopefully they kind of just keep their gimmick as is, where they're beat down people, the whole beat down of people and just being dominant. And we'll see where they go with that. Obviously they're going to be apart with Daniel Bryan with this whole authority storyline, and we'll see where they're actually going with it. Who's going to be facing who? It seems that will be the Shield versus Kane, Randy Orton, and Batista, but Daniel Bryan will be working with Triple H for the time being. So we'll see where they go with it. Raw, I'll say, Raw came off pretty decent tonight. Has the potential to be considered a really big Raw if the debuts with everybody, with Bo Dallas, Adam Rose with their vignettes, and then Paige and Alexander Rusev, kind of all gel and work out in the main roster, because then you can say that the new era is truly here at this point. And we'll see where it goes. From here in the next coming weeks. So that's my review this week for Monday Night Raw, and I thank you guys for watching.